Hello, my name is Connor Quinlan, and in this review I'm going to be doing a quick comparison between the older T2i Rebel and the newer, that I have here, T3i digital Canon Rebel. Now this is not really a comparison because obviously this camera's newer, it's got better features and whatnot, better image quality. It's more of a what's new segment for the T3i digital camera, and I'm going to kind of quickly go over what this camera has over the T2i, and also, if any, what the T2i has over this camera, which it does have a few things, mostly concerning cost and whatnot. So first thing that I want to mention is that, to be honest, the T3i is not a huge improvement from the T2i. Now, that's not to say that Canon doesn't really make good upgrades. Obviously they can, but in terms of this Rebel, they didn't really go all out on this guy. Pretty much has all the same features as the T2i with a few more things added. And basically what I'll do is I'll talk about those things right now. The first is obviously it has a tilt-shift screen. That's probably the biggest difference, though, between the two, believe it or not. Other differences include that it does have better image quality at higher ISO, although the difference is not really noticeable until about over 1600 ISO. But by 32 ISO you can definitely see a considerable difference between the two cameras, but it's not as different as I would have originally hoped it would be. Other than that, the T3i does have a few other features as well. For example, it can take wireless flash. It has the auto scene mode up here, the intelligence mode, which is good for beginner photographers who are just starting. It also has a few other in-camera features as well, such as adding filters and whatnot. Small things like that I don't really want to go over, that aren't necessarily as important. Now, really quickly, I'm going to tell you what the advantages of the T2i are, which is the older version of this camera. Obviously, there's not much of a difference between the two. The biggest differences are that the T2i is slightly smaller, although not by much, and that it is also thinner as well. It has also a slightly better viewfinder, actually, although I doubt you'll really see the difference. And finally, the biggest difference, obviously, that'll be the decision factor, is the cost of the T2i. It's about $100 less, and this camera costs about $800, so the T2i will probably get you around $700 or so. And I'm guessing that it'll definitely go down in price even more in the future to be more like a $150 difference or so. So, as for my recommendation between the two cameras, it's pretty simple to make that determination. It depends really what kind of money you want to spend on the camera. To me personally, the T2i is really not that much different from this camera, but for an extra $100 for the image quality, I'd probably go all the way for the T3i if I didn't already have the camera. However, if I already had a T2i Rebel, then I probably wouldn't spend the extra money to upgrade. I would wait until a newer camera comes out and upgrade then, or get a more advanced camera if you want to upgrade. So, this has been a quick comparison between the T2i Rebel and the T3i Rebel.